Hello everyone, my name's Tom Hamp and I'm a business coach with Advocoach in Mid-Michigan, and you're joining us with Tuesdays with Tom. It's a live broadcast talking about business topics. We appreciate you being here today. There's a couple of things that you can do to participate. One, you can certainly ask any questions online. Whether we're live or not, you certainly ask your questions and we'll get an answer to you. But you can also help us out by sharing this video with others that are in need of this information. If you think somebody is stuck in a certain spot in their business or trying to figure some things out, let them know, share the video, and then we can certainly help them as well. So the topic today is family planning, communications, and development. But before we get started, let me talk to you about our sponsorship today. This episode of Tuesdays with Tom is brought to you by Coldbox Live. Coldbox Live is a professional live streaming service that takes your live videos to the next level using professional production equipment, clear audio, and graphics like nameplates, logos, and more. If you'd like to take the hassle out of your next live video and look professional on screen, visit the link right here to learn more and book your sessions today. So what we hope that you take away from today is when we talk about family planning, communications, and development, we want to help you understand how to increase communication in your family business. We want to have and talk about regular and consistent family meetings, how to solve conflicts, and certainly the decision-making process. So let's get right into it. So when we talk about family planning, communication, development, one of the biggest things in any business, and especially in this particular topic, is communication. And I'm going to tell you something that's probably going to go kind of counter to what you've been told or what you want to believe, and that is regular family meetings. And when I talk about regular family meetings, I'm talking about more meetings, not less. I know it's probably an issue, whether it's a family business or not. You're probably saying to yourself, Tom, really? More meetings? The meetings that we do have are terrible. So what do you mean by more meetings? And so one of the things to increase communications, though, is that we have to have better communications. And so the meetings that we're going to talk about today are a little quicker, have a little bit more meat to them, an agenda, those types of things. The areas that a lot of this information comes from are from these two books right here. The first one is called Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. They're both by Vern Harnish. This is the first edition of really the area that we're going to talk about. And in chapter 8, it talks about running meetings. And then he came later with another version called Scaling Up. It's really the Master of the Rockefeller Habits 2.0. And again, in there, they talk about meetings. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, we want to do regular business meetings and create a rhythm in your company that everybody can expect. Really, the routine of meetings actually sets you free to do other things, as opposed to, in the back of your mind thinking this hasn't been handled, or I wonder where this particular process is. We want to make sure that these are handled in our meetings. So again, reiterate, more meetings, not less. And so, and then whatever, regardless of the meeting, whether we talk about a daily, a weekly, a monthly, a quarterly meeting, we want to set the rules of engagement where everybody can feel comfortable that they can contribute, that they're being listened to, and that the resolution of concepts are taken and understood going forward. So let's talk about the daily meeting. So it's very funny is that this one is a real quick meeting on a daily basis. We kind of set the meeting irregularly, and by that I mean set it at 4:45 p.m. or 8:08 a.m. so that it really is not on a specific hour or half hour. It really tends to help get people at the meeting. We want it to be anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes. It's mandatory so that if you're off-site, you're at a location, or you have a business that has many sites, you want to make sure that people call in. We certainly have many tools today, whether it's Skype or any of those types of tools, conference calling, to make sure that everybody's in on this particular meeting. We want to try to avoid sitting comfortably. Maybe we stand, maybe we're in an area where there's a board that we can write some stuff down. Who attends this call? Everybody you think is necessary. That can mean the whole company depending on your size, but it's really kind of a, here's what's going on today, here's some of the hot points in the meeting going forward, and we can set the day off right, or end the day off right and set the next day off on a good direction. Who runs it? a lot of times the highest ranking official, the CEO or the owner or the president, that doesn't necessarily have to take place. Find out who runs the best meeting in your organization. Let them run it. They might be full of energy, but they also have to keep people on task and on time. So you certainly need to keep the order. We want to, if somebody gets verbose and tries to take over the meeting, it's certainly a situation to where you want to say, let's take this offline. Keep the meeting going so that everybody gets some good things out of it. The agenda, we want to try to make sure that it's the same structure every meeting. So if it's a daily meeting, make sure it's the same structure so people have an idea what's going to be talked about. And really, the agenda should only be 3 items long for your 5 to 15 minute meeting. Make sure you can get them in, get them out, and send people on their way. Next meeting we want to talk about is our weekly meeting. It's usually longer, usually an hour. This is kind of an issues-oriented meeting. We want to really talk about those types of things that are issues that we can kind of handle. Maybe some of those things that we said take offline in our daily meeting, we handle in our weekly meeting. It could be a strategic gathering. What's maybe some planning. We want, again, also consistent, structured agenda. And then closing. You may want to go around the room and really ask each attendee to kind of sum up the meeting. What are their tasks? Kind of a good close so you get a good idea that they've been engaged in the meeting. And then we can go into the monthly meeting. Really, this could be a little bit different type of meeting focused on learning, personal development, training on products, services that you have, leadership training, those types of things. So try to take monthly meetings to a different direction to where you focus on learning. Then you can get into your quarterly meetings, which is, again, more strategic, more planning situations, problem solving, and then our annual meeting, which is a longer meeting yet, that type of thing. So you can see we really start to design our communications around these types of meetings. There's a lot of resistance to meetings because they haven't been handled really well, but I think this is the best way to go with family businesses as long as you set the rules of engagement first. Let's get into clear conflict resolution and decision making. I know that this can be an issue in a lot of family-owned businesses that have been around for a long time, but the simple question is, how is it being done now? What's the conflict resolution and decision-making process now? If everybody in the family is happy with that, then you know what? There's no tweaking that needs to be done. But I'm willing to bet there's some issues out there of how decision-making, how conflict resolution's done. What's the escalation process? If there's a problem on a lower level of employment, how does somebody escalate that issue without going around people, to dad, to the uncle, whatever the case is? There should be a process on escalation so that some of the hierarchy is not disturbed and we can keep everything kind of in the proper sequence. And then, are there taboo topics? Typically there are in family and business that we don't want people to bring up during our business/family meetings. Let's talk about those up front to see what are some taboo topics that really can get into some situations that you don't want to during the business hours, or ones that you should and can, maybe to get out of the way at least initially. And then how do we handle those when those do come up? Maybe it's a safe word or something that says, hey, you know what, that's not something that we need to talk about in this particular meeting. So keep those things going. A common question in this area could be that, you know, the owner has always made the final decisions, dad's always made the final decisions, or mom and dad have always made the decisions. How do we do that going forward? Is it still going to be the same? Yes, at the end of the day, they probably will still have the final say, but is there the ability to have better input than we've had in the past? Listening skills, extremely large topic here. Listening skills you need to understand, and not listening just to listen, but listening to hear and internalize what some of the other people in the room are trying to get across. There's some people that won't say things because they don't want to upset, you know, the conflict in the room, those types of things. So again, are we listening properly for the arguments that are being made and make sure that everybody has a voice? The communication guidelines, this is kind of bringing everything together. So remember, we want to start this process. We know it's not easy, especially when you start these new meetings, that people are going to be somewhat resistant, whether it's family or non-family employees. Take baby steps. Start to institute those. If there's some issues initially, don't worry about it. The key here is don't stop trying. Keep marching forward, those types of things, and you know, you'll start to see some improvement. People will know what to expect, and we can start getting the planning down, the communication will improve, and the development of these processes will start to take shape. To recap, again, what we wanted you to kind of take away from today is how to increase communication in your family business. We talked about but instituting more meetings. The regular and consistent family meetings, I think, will take care of most of that. Making sure that we're understanding how to solve conflicts that may have not been solved in the past and have been festering behind the scenes. And then certainly the decision-making process, making sure that we're doing those types of things that are necessary to continue to make good business decisions, but also make good family decisions, so they're both working in concert. Please join me for our next session with Tuesdays with Tom, where we discuss the next area, which is also another key point of the family business, and that is wealth, finances, and philanthropy. Should be a real good topic the next time we meet. Again, this was a live video session called Tuesdays with Tom. We try to do it every other Tuesday. Our sponsor for these episodes is Coldbox Live. Coldbox Live is a professional live streaming service that takes your live videos to the next level using professional production equipment, clear audio and graphics like nameplates, logos, and more. If you'd like to take the hassle out of your next live video and look professional on screen, visit the link right here to learn more and book your session today. So again, this is Tom Hamp. I'm a business coach, and thank you for joining us. See you next time on Tuesdays with Tom.